Good morning. Josie here at my kitchen table today because I wanted to craft in the sunlight, so I hauled some things upstairs and I'm just going to show you a really fun, quick and easy little project. I make a lot of the large size journals, but lately I've been working on some of these little guys. I'm actually hoping to do my first craft fair, so I've been powering along making a lot of each little project, and I wanted to show you this one because these are the little tiny composition notebooks, and they make great little pads to toss in your purse for lists and passwords and just little thoughts that might, hit you at inopportune times. Maybe you're just sitting waiting for an appointment or whatever. It's nice to have a place to jot things down when they pop into your head if you're anything like me and you instantly forget your wonderful big idea. So these are some that I've already done. Some of the covers need, a little extra something, maybe some jewels. So I'm going to finish those up, and then I am going to show you how to do one of your very own. These little notebooks you can pick up almost anywhere. I think these ones were from Dollar Tree. I've seen them at Walmart. Almost any dollar stores carry these, and sure, you can use them as is, but I always have fun jazzing things up, making it my own, and I hope you do too. So I'm just gonna do a quick run through. This one is covered with old book paper, and it's got this cute little "So Very Grateful" title because we're falling into fall. We've got this cute little bicycle pattern, and I usually put a little title on the front or a cute little picture. This one I did with a little pocket inside, and I filled it, I put a couple little ephemera inside, and these are handmade. I'm gonna post a video on how I make my own ephemera so that you can follow along with that too, so stay tuned for that one. So this just lots of times I'll just take my ruler and a pen, put some lines on the back, and it's a great little jot spot. This is just a cute little card, same idea. You can write down, important phone numbers, whatever. Not all of these little journals have pockets on the inside yet, but I may add some. So this one is also book paper, and I stamped this little saying, "There's always a reason to smile." This one I had extra fun with because I whipped out my handy heating tool, and I used a little bit of embossing powder. So I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but this is shiny, be brave, and I found these adorable little feather stamps actually at the Dollar Tree. So keep your eyes peeled when you're in those stores, because every once in a while you stumble across a real gem. This one had dream catchers, feathers, and some really cute sayings. This one too is just a little embossed BU. I did it in gold, and I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but it actually stands out really well. This one, of course, I don't craft without my old music paper. I like to include that as much as I can. Got pretty little roses. This is also just an old book page from I think it was dried flowers arrangements, and I left the tear at the edge. I love that. And this one too, same book. So those are some that I think they're mostly done. Like I said, I think I'll tuck some ephemera inside the fronts because it's really fun when you're buying something new to open it up and there are extra surprises. So anyway, I'm gonna jump into showing you how to do it yourself. So these are just your very basic little composition notebooks. It's so handy because on the front it gives you the measurements so you know what to cut to. I always give or take a 1/4 inch because they're great, but sometimes they're off, or the spine cover here is just a little crooked. So if I cut it a little larger, then I can trim it. I would rather that than have it a little bit too small. So we're gonna get started. To do that, this is a beautiful image that I cut out of a magazine. So we're gonna use that. I've got my Tombow liquid glue, which is my favorite when it comes to covering anything because I find it works really well. You can get it close to the edge. So that's what I like to use. This, you're gonna want a straight edge at least on one side, because this we're gonna tuck around onto the inside of the cover. So if you have a straight edge, it's fairly easy to line up. Now I don't put glue on the magazine page. I prefer to put glue onto what I'm covering. So you just run, and I know you can't see because this glue is very clear, but it is such a tiny bead of glue because you don't want a big ripply mess when you're done. So you just, as much as you can, get it as close to the edges as possible so that your new cover doesn't peel up when it dries. So I get as close as I can to the edges, then I just little willy-nilly on the front. Now you take your little magazine page, which I've already trimmed, and line it up to the edge the best you can. There we go. Now you're gonna wanna give it a chance to dry a little bit before you do any kind of cutting or trimming. So I am just gonna stick it down, take your bone folder here, smooth it out. If you do not have a bone folder, do not panic. Mr. Ruler does the exact same thing. So there we go. So while we're waiting for that to start drying, we'll flip it over and we can put something onto the back. Now, to do the back, I just have this little package of paper that I got at Dollarama, if you can believe it. It's very basic on the front, so I'm just gonna choose a little fun pattern for the back. Ooh, I like that. So we'll go with this one. I'm gonna give it a little trim. So these books are 3 1/4 inch by 4 1/2. So I like to trim a little bit bigger than what I need to. So I'm gonna take about 1 1/2 inch off. And now we'll also trim up this edge here. So again, probably about 1 inch off. We'll be fine, and it will leave you with enough that you can trim it later with your X-Acto blade, which is my best friend when it comes to covering these books. So same deal, get your bead of glue as close to the edge as you possibly can because it prevents the cover from peeling off once it's been, you know, well used, hauled around, written in. You're gonna wanna line it up again as close as you can to that black spine because we don't want any of the old cover showing through. So there we go, got it nice and straight. Beautiful day here, fall day, sun is shining. I have a lot of fun crafty projects on the go for today. And when I sat down to do these guys, I thought, you know, I'm always giving my subscribers a larger project. Maybe I should give them something a little quicker. So now this, it's not totally dry, but it's got a good stick. So I lift up the front cover and I just very gently give it a bend. And sometimes I'll even open the book and kind of lean it over the edge of a table or something so that I can do it even more. I like to give a good outline here too so that when I'm cutting with my blade later, I know exactly where the cover lets off, because you don't want to cut cover. Then, whoop, I've got some pages in here. Then you just very gently, there you go. And now I take the bone folder and just give it a good go over, because I want it to be nice and sharp. And now I do glue the magazine page because I'm not exactly sure where it's gonna leave off. I don't want to write on here, so I go down a little, because you can see there's a little lip there where the magazine page is a little longer than the book. So right where it's gonna hit. Then I go along the edge of here. I've seen a lot of videos where you can actually just cut this off and the inside stays completely white, but I like this look, and the way it wraps around keeps the cover extra strong, the new cover that we're putting on. So there we go, again with the bone folder to smooth it, get any bubbles out, and there. Once we cut that, we've got a beautiful Gerber daisy on the front of our book. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing at the back. It's a little trickier because the back cover is cardstock, which is a little thicker than a magazine page, but I love the aspect of using the magazine page because it's recycling, which is something that I like to do as much as possible. So there, now I've done one fold, so I'm just gonna take my bone folder and smooth it over, give it a nice crisp bend, and again with the glue, and get it as close to the edge of the page as I can, and I try and line up with the bottom of the notebook. There we go. Now you fold it over, make sure you've got it good and stuck. Bone folder again, and there we go. Now we've done that part. We're gonna get to the cutting. Okay, so now it's time for us to trim these loose edges. So this can be a great project for a kid. However, they're going to need help in this part because we wouldn't want them to use one of these blades without help. So you just take your X-Acto blade, and I find that it gets a close cut compared with using scissors. Scissors could work, but you'd have to be quite exemplary at cutting, which I am not with scissors. So I just also take a little off the corner. You don't have to panic if it doesn't look perfect, because we also then will use a sander to make sure that it's nice and flush. So there we go. Now we've got that one. I'm just gonna take a little bit off this corner because these corners on these little notebooks are rounded. So that's how it's gonna look when we're done. So let's get to the cover. There we go. Getting it trimmed up. This is such a good little gift if you have a pen pal or, you know, a secret pal. We do that program sometimes at my work. I have a hard time with the Secret Pal program because I really like to make things, and everybody at my work knows that I really like to make things, so I struggle because I can't give a lot of gifts because then my secret is foiled. Everybody knows it was me. So there you go, you've got your trimming. Now, this is my magic sanding block. You just pick these up at any hardware store. This one you can see has had better days because it's starting to get worn out. Time for me to pick up a new one, I think. Anyway, you're just gonna take that and very gently go around the top and the bottom. You don't want to be sanding this edge because this is where we wrapped it around. So we don't want to compromise that. It's got a nice clean fold. So now we're gonna take this and just very quick sweeps, we go around the edge and see it gets that little kind of tattered look, which is exactly what I'm going for. You don't have to do this if you prefer a more clean appearance, but I also am going to take ink to go around the edges of this. Give it that nice antique aged look. There we go. Now we want to make sure that the inside is nice. You've gotten rid of any extra overhang. So I'm just cleaning this up. I want to get this corner. There we go. So the back cover's done. Now we're just going to do the inside of the front. These make great stocking stuffers too. And before we know it, it's gonna be that time of year again. There we go. Nice rounded corners, which I like. Now, I'm just gonna take my ink pad. Again, I have these. This is an old Stampin' Up pad. This is my go-to for distressing the corners because this pad has been used so many times that the ink it's still there, but it's not overwhelming, so I don't have to worry about getting a big blob on there because this pad has been so well used. So now I just very gently go around the corners, giving it that nice vintage vibe. Now, would you ever guess that this is just an old magazine clipping? I mean, this compares easily to any scrapbooking paper, and it's a great way to recycle. I love reading magazines, especially the inspirational ones that have beautiful photos like this, and so I tend to collect. I prefer collect to hoard, so I tend to collect, and this is a great way for me to feel like they have purpose. I go through, I tear out anything that I think that I might be able to put to good use for a project, and I actually have a sorting system for those magazine pullouts, which is also on my list for a future video because you don't want to get overwhelmed with just a huge envelope of them. You want to be able to use them. So today I'm going to use this little sticker on the front. These are some old scrapbooking stickers that I had, and I'm trying to use them up so that I'm not hoarding away huge sheets for only a few things. So I thought they were perfect for these little tiny notebooks. I have my sticker here, but I'm also gonna ink the edges of that. Only a little. It just adds a little definition on the edge so that it stands out once you've put it on your paper. So now I'm gonna stick this guy down right here in the middle. And I like to add little titles to these books. It doesn't have to be anything specific. This one just says inspire, which I think we all want our gifts to inspire. So you just gonna tear the backing off my little sticker. I'm gonna center it over this, and boom bada bing. We are done, and I think it's so cute. You can take a ribbon if you like and tie it around the front cover, but that's your choice. I am gonna leave this one as is because I just, nice and simple. And if you're, you know, taking it in and out of your purse, you don't want too many things on there because it'll just end up getting hooked anyway. So something nice, simple, easy way to jot down an address, a list, anything that you might need while you're on the go. These also make great books for when you hear a quote, if you want to keep track of gratitude, anything, you name it. So, thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more to come. Have a great day, everybody.